Okay, let's get started. Now we are discuss about the Poetics by Aristotle. A critical summary and comments. Section 1: Epic poetry, tragedy and comedy forms of imitative art. Chapter 2: A consideration of the object of imitation, the representation of character as good, bad, or average. The objects the imitator represents are actions with agent who are necessary either good men or bad. The diversities of human. In the time of Aristotle, there was no name which stood for literature as a whole. This art imitates in word either in prose or in words, and if in words, in one or many kinds of meters. One notes the comprehensive treatment given by Aristotle. This form difference from music which use only harmony and rhythm. Aristotle shows the awareness that poetry doesn't necessarily require to be written in some meter to be poetry. In other words, verse is not a necessary principle of poetry. Aristotle's use of the term imitation is significant. It doesn't mean exact reproductions as the accomplished by photographic art. It does not mean exact copying of nature or external objects. Aristotle's employs something which is the imitation of essence of an object. It's the imitation of emotions, the inner reality, or the soul of thing. Art seeks to imitate mainly an inward processes or the outward manifestations. An inward, while which show some activity of thought or feelings. Chapter 2: The objects of imitation. After having dealt with the differences in the medium of imitations in the fine arts, Aristotle comes to the next difference, that of the object of imitation. The object of imitation in poetry are human beings. Aristotle excludes landscape except as a background to the human action. The whole world isn't conceived of as the raw material of art. Aristotle's theory is in agreement with the practice of the Greek poets and artists of the classical period. To use to us the word imitation suggests an exact reproductions of visible objects as in a photograph or in a realistic painting of unnecessary. Aristotle used the word in a different sense. He is no more concerned with photographic realism that than in the composer of a pastoral symphony who doesn't try to reproduce the noise of pigs and cattle but tries to convey a mood of special atmosphere to his hearers. In dramatic art, the mimesis that reproduces life emotions is important. Character being nearly always derivative from the primary destination. Since the line between virtue and vice is one dividing the whole of making, it follows, therefore, that the agents represent must be either above our own level of goodness or beneath it. It just such as we are in the same ways as with the painters, the personages are folly are polygates and batters than we are. Those of Paul's worse and those of dynasties just like ourselves. It's clear that each of the above mentioned arts will admit to these differences and that it will become a separate art by re-representing objects with this point of difference. Even in dancing, flute playing, and lyre playing, such diversities are possible, and they are also possible in the nameless art that uses language, prose, or verse without harmony. Homer's personages, war instance, are better than we are. Calihons are on our levels, and Nicolations and others of delete are beneath it. The same in the same is true then with the differences exemplified in the of and argos and in the psych and in the sacrifices of Timotheus and Pholmius. This difference is that thus distinguishes tragedy and comedy also. The word would make its personages word and the other better than the men of presented day. Okay, do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.